What if you were afraid of nothing? Nothing. Man, beast, financial, bankruptcy, nothing. Do you understand what that would mean? How would your life have changed? Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. I'm not afraid of anything. I should be dead by now. I've been run over by a charging buffalo. Got up, chased it down, killed it. Killed a Kodiak bear with a knife. You can't kill me. I believe that with all my heart. You can't kill me. And of course, the people that I've talked about, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Rockefeller, Steve Jobs, they're all tough. Snowflakes melt under pressure. In 1986, the average man's handshake pressure was 118 pounds. 2016, 96 pounds. Testosterone levels in sperm counts tested 50 years ago, and today they're producing 60 to 70% the amount of testosterone levels in sperm counts as they did. We're dying out. They're deathly afraid of everything. Everybody's scared to death of what might happen. And so they come across as your friend. It's like my snowflake test. You know, first question, paraphrasing it, what would you do if somebody spit in your wife's face? And the answers range from, well, I try to ascertain what kind of day he was having. And if he had a bad day, I try to be understanding. I'd be in prison for murder. I would beat the guy to death.
Is that what we need today? Everybody?
No, I'm not saying that's me though.
Okay.
But I am advocating the guys act like they had a pair. There's never an easy time to make a hard decision. Never. But what you have to be able to do is pull the trigger, take action. And reading books and listening to podcasts is not taking action. It's just another form of procrastination. The main differentiation between the high-performance people is they believe in the extraordinary. Remember yesterday I said you're never going to exceed your highest and wildest expectation. For those of you that want to be a millionaire, you're never going to make 10 million. For those of you that want to be 10 million, you're never going to make 100 million. For those of you that want to make 100 million, you're never going to be a billionaire. Because psychologically, see, your subconscious doesn't know you're full of. Your subconscious starts to slow down. When you get, let's use the 100 million number, at 75, 79, 82, 89, 91, and then you're asleep at 96 million. And you may stumble over the goal at 100 million by accident. I have 3 regrets in life. 1, I'm a combat-trained Army officer who never saw combat. 2, the night before my mother died, I told her, God damn it, you're not gonna die, quit f***ing around. She's dead in the morning. And the 3rd, I didn't set my goals high enough. Jack Welch said it much better than I. There's no such thing as work-life balance. There are work-life choices, and you make them, and they have consequences. There are consequences that I didn't go to our daughter's sweet 16 birthday party. There are consequences. But are they greater than the consequences of you being dirt broke when you die? You ask yourself that. Would you rather make a choice between your daughter's 16th birthday or you being flat broke, huddled up in a corner, homeless, whenever your time comes? You tell me. But conventional wisdom, political correctness, has it all backwards. You're a bad person because you missed her birthday, right? You're a bad person because you celebrated Christmas in January, right? And the pundits that give you this horse are poor themselves. Next, you've got to get by your friends. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future, right? You're hanging out the pub, belching and farting. Those people that you're going to the sports bars, those are your friends. Then there's just general pessimists. Then there's your own guilt. Do I deserve to be wealthy beyond measure? Then there's fear, false expectations appearing real. And then there's this plain society that wants to hold you down. Strange times are these in which we live when the old and the young are taught falsehoods in school. And the person that does tell the truth is called a lunatic and a fool. But John Lennon said it a little differently. Being honest may not get you many friends, but it will always get you the right ones. And what I want you to do from this point forward, no matter if you hated what I said or the way I said it, is choose carefully the people that you associate with. Warren, back when he used to send out tweets, Buffett that is, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic, and power is restraint. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and let things pass. In my day, they used to say, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Now it's just the opposite. On this planet that have safe rooms, that have safe buildings, that if life becomes too stressful, you go to that building. If your adult child needs a safe space to avoid offensive words, you failed as a parent. Most of us care what other people say, and most people care what other people think. And if you can just reduce that emotional baggage just a little, you have no idea how much freer you're going to be and how much more you're going to accomplish in your life. Most people just have poor habits. And, I've had these same habits for about 50 years now. When I do feel wimpish, I just say, what's wrong with you? Come on. And I just go out and do it. And I know that if I hadn't built up these habits 20, 30 years ago, at age 70, I certainly wouldn't be doing this. I mean, good habits are hard to come by. But what's even harder to come by are people that have good habits that you can be around. Machiavelli said, a ruler is judged by who he surrounds himself with. If I were to decide what kind of person you were by the people that you are closest to, what would I think of you? How would I judge you?
So people don't spend enough time selecting that peer group, even
Correct.
if they have the good habits. You're
Correct.
saying that's not enough.
Yeah, because they go to default.
Okay. What are some of your other good habits, high performance?
I never give tacit approval, but I go out of my way to make sure that if I hear both, I tell them it's both.
Keeps you with the right people.
Correct.
Gets your message out loud and clear.
Correct.
All right, no tacit approval, good. Give me a couple more.
Sam Walton's sundown rule. That means that before he left the office every day, everything on his desk, every message that came in, he answered. So I clear my desk every day.
All right, so over-communicate, and other people should too.
The thing that most of you lack in is time management. The reporting system I use as a young officer with NATO. And it's basically, what are your goals for the day? What did you accomplish yesterday? And challenges. And then the following week, you didn't, when you say what you accomplished, if what you accomplished doesn't relate back to the goals you had set for the week, then there's a disconnect. Well, if you said you were going to do this on Monday, and then on the next week you didn't do it, didn't you do it on Monday, you didn't do it the whole week. And, challenges come up, speed bumps, I call speed bumps. You broke your leg, you did this, you did that, Now to me, those aren't speed bumps, When I showed up for my meeting with Klaus Kleinfeld in a wheelchair with a drip, well, I was almost dead 3 days before. I mean, that's commitment. Kids are not programmed for success, but once in a while there are kids that are programmed. That's little Tiger Woods when he's 3 years old on television, showing him how to hit a golf ball. The Williams sisters were programmed for success since they were little. I was programmed by accident. What have you done to program your children for success? My dad only had one goal for me growing up, to keep me alive till I reached the age of reason. So my mother spent her whole life trying to make me what she wasn't. Can you say the same for you, your parents, your children? No. So I'm not here by accident. And yet I still push the envelope. I believe with all my heart, you were meant to achieve. I believe, and this is the only religious thing I'm going to say, is I believe whoever the put us here, however the we got here, we were put here to be all we can be, not a fraction thereof. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Unless you want average in America, married, 2.4 kids with 1.5 dogs. But I can guarantee you, you will never achieve anything greater than your highest aspiration. If you want $1 million, you'll make $1 million, not $1.5 million. If you want 10 million, 100 million, and you'll never exceed that. If you change 1 billion lives, that's a formula to become a billionaire and change the world. Time costs lives. Show me your friends and I show you your future. You want to know why you're all f***ed up? Just look at the bums you hang around with. I do what you don't want to do, that you know that you got to do to be where you want to be. Ted Turner just gave his 75th anniversary party on CNN a few months ago. And he makes a couple of comments and he says, number one, and I'm not suggesting this for everybody, it's how I lived though. First 10 years of my starting CNN, I slept on my couch. I didn't have an apartment. Bill Gates slept in the office. Steve Jobs slept in the office. And I can go down a whole list. Now these are super successful, mega wealthy guys. I slept in my office. Not everybody's willing to make that sacrifice, but it's not the only thing. But even if you don't sleep in your office, if you want to send your kids to a better school, if you want to be able to take care of your mother when she gets dementia, if you want to, this all takes money. My children aren't getting any of my money when I die. Not one centavo, not one penny. 2 of my kids are cool with it. One of them's not so cool with it. I think Andrew Carnegie, by the way, Andrew Carnegie, arguably the richest, most successful entrepreneur of all time, he said the best thing that you can have for a child is him to be born into poverty. And I agree. Lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth. Now they think they have self-worth. They think because they've made a few bucks. But in actuality, and when they measure it against the other 8, 10, 12 people sitting around the table, they realize, or they start to question, hell, maybe I was just lucky. Now, all of us, when you're only a one-trick guy or gal, think, was I lucky? Now, I've done it so many times, I know I wasn't lucky. I might have been lucky the first time, but I haven't been lucky the 15, 20, 40, 50. I know that, but maybe I was lucky the first time. My life changed when I was pretty much a haphazard kid, got in a lot of trouble, got arrested 4 or 5 times, thrown in jail, and this was when my dad's a cop. But then I volunteered for the draft in 1966 at the height of the Vietnam War, and I went to OCS, and that changed my life because it was the really first real high-performance thing that I could measure myself against with other people. 2/3 of all Fortune 500 CEOs have one thing in common: military background. 2/3 of those 2/3 have something else: martial arts. What do you learn in martial arts, Brian? Discipline, focus. A lot of people don't believe they deserve to be there. I convince them, and we have these drills, why you belong there. A lot of people that come there, with money, that have made money, think they made it by accident. Right. I just had one of my superstars who's made $100 million tell me in the last week, I'm not sure I'm going to have another lucky accident. And I said, you did it. I mean, you tried a lot of things. I believe Thomas Edison, I wouldn't have done it 10,000 times. Okay. I would have hired an engineer from MIT to do it. But I mean, I've tried a lot of things. Nobody's failed at more things than I have. And the first 100 million are successes, but I could write a book about failures that'd be, because I've tried a lot of different things. Because failure is just testing. And one of the reasons I've been so successful in generating this equity and value in my kids, and I call you all kids, is because I convince them that making a mistake is okay. Your parents probably told you, you can be anything you want, but you can't. That's horseshit. You can't. If it's all juxtaposed. But what you tell them is that you can do anything you want that you have passion for. Because that eliminates most of the crap. Because most people don't follow their dream. Like they say in The Sound of Music, you can't have a dream come true unless you have a dream. Now, I still dream. I dream in Technicolor. I say my affirmations and goals every single night. It's bloody hard to be a high-performance person. Perfection equals paralysis. If you left it to engineers, no car would ever come off the assembly line. No car would ever come off the assembly line, and I've been in business with enough engineers, I can attest to that with my hand on my heart. They'd still be trying to make it better. And the internet business is very much the same. The internet kids want to test and test and test, and they want the landing page to be this. And roll it out. The great thing about the internet is your results are instantaneous. If something that I'm overseeing at the Concord level, 60,000 feet, doesn't work in 2 days, forget about it, move on. And today at our meeting, now the young kids are, we ran it 3 days, sir, and we closed it down. And they are thinking I'm gonna ask why. I said, no, that's fine, next. Because without them making mistakes and without them being allowed to make the decision, they never get any better. And 95% of the time, I know probably better than they do. We're never going to be able to know everything or have them know everything unless they make some mistakes and get comfortable with making mistakes. What gets measured gets accomplished. Without measurement, you're just fooling yourself. Before I had any money, I used to go to the Rolls-Royce dealers and sit in the cars and smell the leather, touch the leather, okay? I went to $1 million houses, and my wife and I would walk through the house, and they'd say, when are your parents getting here, kids? No, we are the buyers. Practice within when you're without. Practice being successful. How many people listening to this today practice being successful today? Through affirmations, through going to the Rolls-Royce dealer, maybe Lamborghini, maybe something else. In my particular case, it was Rolls-Royce. And within a year of me going to Rolls-Royce dealer, I had a Rolls, okay? Within 19 months of me dreaming and adding it to my goals, a castle on an island, I own Guthrie Castle. 19 months.
Okay.
Go to stores you can't afford. Go hire lawyers you can't afford. Lawyers will meet with anybody. Accountants will meet with anybody. Go to the big four accountants with a business idea. The first couple meetings are for free. Jettison probably a lot of the people you'll hang around with. If you have poor public speaking skills, join Toastmasters. Do these. If you went to a good school and you're not successful, go to the alumni deals. Okay? I didn't go to a good school. I'm a perfect living example that a lot of trouble as a kid, working class background, my parents, went to just a mediocre university that I flunked out of 3 times before I finally graduated with honors, but and had no money to begin with, $820. So it's all possible, but I devoted myself to feeling successful. I was wearing suits like this before I could afford them. Most people procrastinate because they're unsure, so just do it. And but I've never had a problem just doing it, because one of the things is you learn as a young combat infantry officer is time costs lives. We overanalyze because we're unsure. We don't overanalyze because we are not sure if it'll work or not. We're more worried about, on the emotional side, it embarrassing us.